So here's your first lesson. We're going to get right into this, and that is that a life without integrity doesn't work. Okay, so if we're going to have a powerful month of October, if we're really going to unleash your power and execute, if you, wait, hold on, erase. When you execute on integrity, your plan will work. Yes and yes. Okay. So anyhow, I just wanted to acknowledge that. I apologize for that little hiccup. Okay, but I didn't want to. That's something that you want to always do as a leader. Is that anytime that there is something that needs to get restored, it is best to do it and then just push it aside. You move the energy aside, and then you can move forward. So anyhow, I just wanted to clean that up. So I apologize for the little mistake on the time. But moving forward, every first Friday of the month at 11 a.m., I am committed to doing these calls. So, first of all, if you're new here and you don't know who I am, you'll get to know me with time. I don't want to make this call about me. I just want to really briefly introduce myself. So my name is Karla E. Sandoval, and so a lot of you guys don't know what this whole E is all about. So my middle name is Erendira. Okay, so if you cannot roll the R's, you're gonna have a hard time with that. But it's Karla Erendira Sandoval. And when I was getting my domain name, Karla Sandoval was taken. And I felt like that was a calling. Okay, I respect all your religious beliefs, but I feel like that was a calling from God. Like KarlaESandoval.com was available. And I was like, okay. So one of my coaches said, this is because you're now going to put all of you out there, meaning like you're actually going to be all of you. And I was like, huh. And so one of the things that happened was, for those of you who maybe don't know, so I've been in business, I've been an entrepreneur pretty much my entire life. And I say that because since I was a little girl, I would sell flowers in the corners. So whenever I see a kid selling anything, even if I don't want to, whatever they have, I like give them a dollar or two or whatever, because I was that kid. And so I've always been an entrepreneur my entire life. And I went to USC, I graduated from college, and I went to work for corporate America, and it just wasn't for me. I was there for 3 whole months, and I was like, I'm out of here. Okay. And I launched my business with $6 to my name. And I don't say this to impress you, but to impress upon you what I'm going to teach you guys today. Okay. And that is that when I started my business, I was what I like to say, ignorance on fire. And the reason I say that was because I didn't question a lot of things. Okay. Action trumps knowledge every single time. And I didn't know anything about business, but what I did have, and write this down, is a lot of hunger. If you're going to have, hold on, erase. Because we're going to have, by the way, you guys, I do that all the time, because if I say something I don't want it to register, I tell my brain, delete it. Okay. So you can hack that too. So because we're going to have a powerful October, the first thing we must be like very mindful of is that your hunger for success is going to be the driving force. I know a lot of very intelligent people, I know you do too, that don't make very intelligent decisions because they're not hungry. And then there's people that you're like, how in the world did that person become a millionaire, get on the Olympics, or like just have all this success? It's because they were hungry. So when I started my business, I was very hungry for success. One of the main reasons was because people around me were they were making fun of what I was going to do. Okay, let's just call it what it is. They were like, oh my gosh, Karla went to college to sell shakes and tablets. And that comment fueled me. Okay. And so every time I wanted to quit, every time I had a down moment, I would think about that moment that they would say that. And I was like, I am not going to give them the pleasure of me quitting. Okay. Now my motivation is no longer that. Okay. But I was 23. So you know what? You got to do what you got to do to make you work. And so fast forward in 13 months, my business, not just me, but like the whole team, it generated over $1 million in sales. Okay. Now, how did I do that? I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you what I did every single time that I had big months, every single time that I had a big year. I can reverse engineer exactly what I did. And so for those of you who don't know, yesterday we launched a program. You can still join. It's called Fourth Quarter Fire. And the reason I'm launching that is because I am going to have a ridiculous 2026. Like I am so clear on my goals every single quarter of what that's going to, how much money I'm going to make every single quarter. Okay. And not just that, but I'm very clear on the woman I will become. Money, I'm going to tell you, I like it a lot. Okay. Because I like nice things. And I'm sorry, but that costs money. I like luxury. I like the glitz and the glams, and that costs money. But what motivates me is not the money. What motivates me is what that money's going to allow me to do. So the first thing I want all of us to think about is this. I want you to ask yourself, and this is something I ask myself every single time that I'm ready to go. Because let me tell you something, there's been months and there's been years that I like don't do anything. I just gonna keep it real. I was stuck for 5 years. And what I mean by that is I wasn't actively working. I wasn't actively building anything, not building my business, not building me. I was just cruising. Okay. And let me tell you something. It's fine if that's where you're at, but I was there for 5 years until one day I was like, what happened to me? And this happened to me 2 years ago again. Okay. So I asked myself this, and I actually write it down because this is a question I ask myself. So here's the thing, the power of your questions will directly relate to the quality of your answers. And the questions you ask mold your life because it gives direction on what you're focusing on. So I'm literally going to read it from my notes. Okay. So I asked myself this. What would my life and my business, because I'm a business owner, what would my life and my business look like if I followed through on everything I set my mind to? And I underline the word everything. What would my life look like? What would my body look like? What would my business look like? What would my bank account look like? Ladies, I'm going to tell you something. A total side note, but something tells me to tell you this. We have got to stop apologizing for wanting a lot of money. I tell my programs, we want queens cash. Okay? Queens cash. So think about what would that look like if you actually follow through on everything that means something to you. Okay? And what would it look like if every goal that you set out to this month of October, what would your month look like if you actually attain every single goal that you put on a piece of paper today? What would your month look like? I want you to just take 2 seconds. Think about that. And I want you to feel what you're feeling. I don't know about you, but okay, by the way, you guys, since this is my program, I can cuss a little bit, okay? That shit excites me, okay? Like I was telling, I have a program called Rising that I do with this girlfriend named Veronica. And I tell them in there all the time, I'm like, we're going to kick ass in 2026. Like that is the energy that I am bringing to this last quarter. And so I want to invite you to, first of all, think about that. Now, because we're going to make this a powerful October, because we're going to make this a powerful month, here's what we must embed in our mind. And that is this, is that my standards are non-negotiable. My goals this month are not negotiable. The reason I'm saying this is because, look, I've been in business way too long and I've done this way too many times. And that is that I set goals for October in this case. And then, so for example, I say, okay, I'm going to work out every single day. And then something happens as an example. Okay, actually, this happened last month. This is very fresh in my mind. By the way, I have like no shame in sharing all my downfalls because at the end of the day, I am human. And that is what allows me to learn more about myself. Like, oop, okay, don't do that again. Okay. So I went out with the guy friend. You know, I've known him for a really, really long time. We went out and then like, he's like super fun. I went to college with him. Okay. And we had one too many drinks. And so the next day, guess how I woke up? Not very good. And so I ended up not like talking myself to not working out. Okay. So guess what? Because I am so committed to finishing this quarter strong, now whenever I go out, I'll have a glass, maybe two, and that's it. Like I'm so clear that my standards will not be negotiated. So if you, when you adapt that to your mindset, like, no, this is what I said, and this is what I'm going to do. Okay. So that's the first thing I want you to write that down, is that my standards will not be negotiated. And here's the other thing. When you don't allow your standards to be negotiated, that is where you develop discipline. Now, I am a very, when I want to, okay, I go from hot to cold. There's like no middle for me, okay? I'm working on that, but I'm 47 years old and I still haven't mastered. I tell my coach, I'm like, why do I go like all or nothing? Like okay, that's just me. Anyway, so I'm that type of person. And here's the thing, when I'm disciplined, I am very disciplined, okay? And some people will ask, well, how did you get there? I want you to write this down. Discipline is a skill. Not everybody is born with it. Actually, I probably think nobody's really born with it. Okay. Discipline is a skill. And every single one of you, if you're on this call, I know you have that in you, or you would not have spent 11 a.m. on a Friday on a call that's called Unleash Your Power and Execute. You wouldn't be here. Okay. People, let me tell you something. I can't even tell you how many people message me about my program that started yesterday. It's called this. I'm doing like a shameless plug. I want every single one of you to join me. It is 33 freaking dollars to join, or 111 VIP. It's nothing. Okay. And okay, it's not that much. Maybe some people couldn't afford it, but listen, okay. You can afford whatever you see valuable. It is that simple. Okay. When I was in debt with the IRS, that whole year, I was like, this is a long time ago. I didn't do my taxes. And then anyway, I got into a lot of trouble like in 2009, 2010. Okay. And guess what? That whole year, I had to pay the IRS. I didn't have the money, but guess what I did? I stopped doing my nails, stopped doing my hair. I started doing them at home so that I could pay the IRS. Why? Because that was important to me. So I'm not telling you that this program needs to be like the thing for you, but I want you to adapt that mindset that whatever is important to me, I will figure it out. Like I have that core belief about myself, and that is that I will figure it out. Okay. So I want you to think about this. The discipline is a skill. And so if you're thinking on this call, like, you know what, I really could be more disciplined. What I'm going to do, we're going to first talk a little bit about the mindset, and then I'm going to give you some strategies to attack the month. Okay. And the reason I'm starting with the mindset is because that is 90% of everything is psychology. You can do whatever you want if your mindset is right. And if your mindset and your heart are aligned, you become unstoppable. Like I cannot even tell you right now in this moment in my life how aligned I feel. Okay. But I have a winning formula that I was sharing with the group yesterday, that I have a winning formula that like whenever I want to whatever, I know exactly how to put myself in that state. Okay. Because it's been a skill for me. So discipline is a skill. And I want you to write this word down. I'm going to adapt. I want you to adapt, take it on, see if it works. Okay. And that is this: unbreakable discipline. What if this month of October you commit to yourself, I am going to have an unbreakable discipline with my body? And then you write down what that means. Like, what does that mean? Unbreakable discipline. For me, it means every single morning, okay, 6 days a week, working out. It means drinking. The water is the thing that I'm like, I got to remind myself, okay? And guess what? For me, it's not, okay, I love to have fun. Okay, I love to party. So I'm like, if I'm going to go out, I'm going to have one, max 2 glasses of wine, maybe twice this month, right? I'm already like thinking about what, because I have galas and all these other things. So I have a glass here and a glass there. But that's it. It's going to be an unbreakable discipline that I'm committed to for the month of October. What else? In my business, what is it going to be, that unbreakable discipline? That you put things in your notebook or things on your agenda. And if your friend calls you, this is my biggest challenge for me, is that I moved back to LA. And so I have a lot of friends here. So I'll get a lot of, do you want to go to lunch? Okay. Which I'm going to tell you how I schedule my week. And so I have to be disciplined to say that only on these days. And I'm going to tell you in a little bit why. What is the unbreakable discipline with your finances? Like this month of October, you guys, we're having the holidays right around the corner. Okay. Maybe you want to have a fabulous, what's it called? Christmas. And by the way, it's my birthday on December 28th. Okay. And I love earrings and I love jewelry. So, maybe you want to have a fabulous Christmas. So you need to have an unshakable discipline on maybe saving, earning extra income. Like, I think you're getting the deal. Like, find those areas of your life that are important to you. And then write them down. I'm going to tell you what I do, okay? In the month of October, actually, I do this before the month starts, okay? It is October 3rd, 2025. I am physically here, but I am really 2026. Like, I'm already in 2026. And I'm reverse engineering what I need to do, what I must do in these next 3 months so that I'm going to have a ridiculous 2026. You guys, this morning I was working out. I always do this before I finish my workout. I close my eyes. I hold on to the things so I don't fall. And I just close my eyes and I visualize my goals and I feel the money in my bank account. I feel my body how I want it. I feel the relationships around me the way that I want them. Like, I see it and feel every single thing that I am going to have in 2026. Like, there's no doubt in my mind. None. Zero. Zip. Nada. Like, I'm so committed that is going to happen. Okay? Why? Because I know that what I say, I do. I relate to myself like that. Have I always related to myself like that? No. If you go to my social media, you will see how chubby and cute I was the last couple of years. Okay? I was still cute. I was just chubby. Right? Why? Because I didn't relate to myself like that. I was like, oh, who cares? Oh, whatever. Okay? So here's the thing. I'm going to invite you to think of this month of October like this. This month of October, it's not hype. It's habits. It's not what I'm going to change. It's what I'm going to be committed to. Let's reframe the way we speak. It's not like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Am I excited? Freaking yes. But that excitement is temporary. What is going to make a difference? Yes, I've been always told that I love massive action, massive results. You hear that all the time. I want you to consider that it is the small actions compounded every single day this month of October that is going to shift your month. So I have some questions for you. Ready? Here we go. Okay, for this month of October, here's what I want you to think about. Number one, what is my commitment with my body? Now, I am not a personal trainer, but I'm going to tell you in case you guys don't know. Okay, you guys should know because if you're here, it's because you kind of somewhat follow me. You're like, how does Karla have so much energy? Well, number one, God gave it to me. Okay, you have a conversation with him about why I got so lucky. But number two is I love CR7 and liftoff. Like, everybody that knows me, I tell Herbalife they need to put my face on the CR7 instead of Cristiano Ronaldo, right? But obviously he's a bigger deal than I am, okay? But CR7 and liftoff, I love. And the reason I'm asking you about what is it going to look like, what are you committed to for your body, is because if you're committed to a big life, you need, and you must have energy. Okay? You don't have to be energy like me. Everybody has different energy. You can be very calm and powerful. Now, some people, I consider myself powerful, but there are some people that are loud and they're not powerful. You can feel their uncertainty with themselves. Okay? So what is your commitment with your body? What are you committed to? And I'm going to invite you to really take that on, because let me tell you something, okay? The other day I got a total side note, but I think it's relevant. The other day I got one of my girlfriends called me that one of her friends' daughter has cancer. And it's the daughter is right around our kid's age, my son and her daughter. And it puts puts life in perspective. And I told her, I said, I heard this once that says a healthy person like us, right? We have a million wishes, goals, aspirations. A sick person only has one. And so, because I want us to have a fabulous October, November, and December, I'm going to invite you that your health your energy, your vitality must be at the top of that list. Okay, you have a list of things to do. My question is, are you on that list? Okay, because if you're not, I want you to put yourself on the top of that list. Before your kids, absolutely. Because if you're not good, they're not good. You are the most important person in your life. So, what are you committed to for the month of October when it comes to your body? Like, really dial that in and then make the decision to say, I'm going to have unbreakable discipline. Number two, what is your commitment when it comes to your business or your career? Most of you here are business owners, okay? What is your commitment when it comes to your career slash business? Like, what are you committed to doing and having this month of October? And here's the other thing. When you do that, same thing with your body, I'm going to recommend that you schedule measurable, they're called KPIs, okay? Key process indicators. So you want to think, what are those key things that I'm going to make sure that get done? Could they be how many times you're going to work out? Karla, how much water you're going to drink? How much protein you're going to hit? For your business, how much new business are you going to generate? How many leads are you going to do? How many personal contacts are you going to go out there? How many businesses are you going to touch? How many follow-ups are you going to have? What are the things that are going to move the needle forward? Okay? You cannot be like, okay, new month, new goals, new me, woohoo! No! What is the plan? You got to put it in your schedule. If it's not in your schedule, it's not going to exist. Next, what is your commitment when it comes to your relationships? Look, for those of you who have been in my space, you know how much I feel about this, and that is that the right proximity is power. Okay? And so who you are around matters. So I want you to think about this month of October. What relationships are you going to nourish? Okay, something tells me to tell you this, okay? So I'm gonna tell you, part of the things that I'm gonna do, I'm already putting it out there, okay? Next year, 2026, I've had this in my heart for a while, and that is to create an entrepreneur event. I create events every single month. They're called success training seminars. I do that all the time. But I've wanted to create something for women entrepreneurs, like an event. I already have like the vision, the back, I have the whole thing, okay? That's one of my goals for 2026. I'm reverse engineering it. And I'm already thinking about, so I'm doing something October 19th, okay? I'm doing like a very private invite only event on October 19th. Why am I doing that? Because my goal is, yes, October 19th, but because I'm already thinking 2026 event. So I'm thinking, okay, who do I need to reconnect with? Who knows a lot of, who's my ideal market? What contact could I nurture? What relationship do I need to like tap into and develop and grow and nurture? Not so that I'm not going to call them and go, hey, guess what? Can you help me with my event for 2026? No, you nurture that now. I was telling the group yesterday. We have some insurance people in the fourth quarter. We have some amazing entrepreneurs in my program, Fourth Quarter Fire. They made me a little bit nervous, but I was like, I got this, okay? But we have some insurance people in there, and I was telling them, I'm like, open enrollment is around the corner. What relationships do you need to nourish? What relationships do you need to reach out to? You cannot be like all of a sudden calling people when you need something from them. So what are you committed to for your body? What are you committed to for your business? And what are you committed to for your relationships? Okay? Not just your intimate relationship. I'm not a relationship coach by no means, okay? But I want you to think about, yeah, also your relationship, your partner, your children, all of that also matters. But because this is a business call, I'm focusing right now on business. So don't be like, oh, Karla and her kid does. No. Okay, you guys know what's important to you. I'm giving you ideas because my brain thinks business, okay? And so we got to think about because I'm going to have a great business year, what relationships do I need to nourish? I was telling one girl who's in my programs, she has a corporate job. And I can totally see her doing public speaking. I can totally see her gathering women of her industry because it's a very male dominant industry. She's been in it for 20 years. So it's like I was telling her, like, start going to networking events. Start to think about who do I need to nourish? What relationships do I need to nourish? And it's not, if some of you are thinking, oh, that's using people. No, it's not. Because it's called collaboration, right? I have people that they can call on me and they know that I will run through a brick wall for them. But guess what? I know they would do the same for me. Why? Because those relationships have been nurtured and have been built. But you cannot ask somebody for something if you've not deposited into the relationship first. Okay? So what are your commitments when it comes to your relationships, especially when it comes to your business? You want to expand your business, you've got to expand your network. Okay? And last, what is your commitment when it comes to your spirituality? Okay? Business is a spiritual game. You can only hold as much success as you feel worthy of. Let me tell you something. That has been something that I have worked on a lot, and I can definitely get better at that. We, including me, don't have the financial abundance that we mentally would like, mentally desire, because our body, our spirit doesn't feel that the container hasn't expanded. It doesn't feel it can hold for whatever reason. I'll share with you one of my traumas because I'm not ashamed of it. For a long time, I felt guilty of my success because the people around me, especially like intimately people around me, I'm the youngest of all my siblings, right? And financially, I had more success at a very young age, and that had me feel a certain way. So I was constantly paying for everything for everybody. Right? Because I felt like I had this obligation to them. I don't know. It's just really ridiculous. Okay. So I've had to reprogram my mind. Part of my winning formula is in the morning when I'm working out, before I'm done, I close my eyes and I'm thinking about what I want this 2026 to look like. And then I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I already have the money. I can already feel the money in my bank account. I know exactly how much I'm going to make the first quarter, the second quarter, the third quarter, and the fourth quarter. Like I already have it dialed in. Okay. Yesterday I showed them my sheets over there, right? And it's like, I already have the declaration. I have a theme for 2026. That's what we're working on in the fourth quarter fire. We're working on what is the theme for 2026 and we're reverse engineering it. Okay. And so I'm going to invite you to do the same. Think about what do you want next year and reverse engineer it and start to think about what needs to happen this month of October for that to happen. Okay. Next, okay? I want you to think about, and this I got from Jim Rohn, okay? Jim Rohn would always talk about how where you plant the seeds, I'm not Jim Rohn, I can't remember exactly the phrase, but it's like some birds will grab them and leave them, right? But then some seeds get planted in toxic soil, in hard soil. So the seed, AKA you, could be perfect because we are, yet we plant it in soil where it will not grow. Now, again, I respect all your religious beliefs, but it's like God created you for a purpose and he does not make mistakes. So I want you to think about your environment because once you set goals for for October, once you set goals for this month, okay, for your body, for your business, for your relationships, your spirituality, settle that, have them, you guys really take this on. Put them on a piece of paper and then look back and think like this and think, what environment, AKA, what people do I need to surround myself with that are going to support these goals? Next, what habits, rituals must I implement to support these goals? For example, I know there's somebody on the phone here. I'm going to throw him out on blast, Miguel. I'm not too sure how old he is, but I know he's not 20 and he looks amazing, right? I don't know if you're competing for a competition, but right. He's like talks about his progress, right? Meal prepping. So one of the habits and the rituals that he has is he wakes up every morning. He does his whole 1 hour power hour of his meditation visualization. He's at the gym by 4 a.m. He's got his macros. He's got his meal plans. He's got, I'm sure, his water. He's got his workouts. He's dialed in. He has his, I think today he went to go do his measurements, right? Like those are habits. When you look at Miguel and you see his body, that's not by accident. That is by design. So I want you to think about what are the habits and the rituals you need to implement this month of October that you're going to commit to implementing this month of October to make sure that those goals get implemented. For example, maybe For your body, you need to like go to bed early so you can wake up. I go to work out before my son wakes up. Okay, I have to do that. Otherwise, I can't. There's no, like, I don't like to work out in the middle of the day. Maybe some will. Okay, I don't like it. So I work out really early. So guess what? I've had to force myself to go to bed early because you guys, I can work till like 12, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. Like I love to work. Okay, so I have to tell myself, Sandoval, go to sleep. Right? So that's a habit that I've had to implement. I drink my relax. I have like this whole ritual at night to get me to calm down, shut my brain, because this thing won't stop. Calm down, shut my brain, and go to bed. Okay, so what are the habits? What are the rituals? And then I want you to write this word down. Frictionless for success. Reduce the friction. There, I don't know how you say it. Reduce the friction. What does that mean? That if you're committed to having a better body, don't buy stuff that you shouldn't be eating. Put the clothes, I lay out my clothes before my workout, and the night before, I have all my clothes laid out. I don't have to think. I just grab, get dressed, and go. Drink my prepare, CR7, my lift off, I'm off. Right? So for my body, I don't, you guys, my weakness is like Doritos con Valentina and lemon. That's how I got so cute a couple of years ago, okay? So guess what? I don't buy Doritos because if I have them here, I'm gonna eat them. Reduce the friction. If you know that you're going to be around certain friends, if you're committed to doing X and you know that those friends are not committed to that, reduce the friction. I'm telling you right now, you have the power to completely be unrecognizable by December 31st, 2025. I know that I will be unrecognizable. I already am based on last year, but I'm already visualizing what's the next level of me. And so I'm trying to think because things pop up all the time. What are the things that I need to get rid of? What are the things I need to like eliminate? It's less with more. Okay. So next, okay. I want you to also think about the following. It's not, yes, we want to make sure we have rituals and all of that. And the reason I'm telling you this, okay, so I don't know if you know this about me, but my brain is very systematic and very like structured. Like I'm very strategic. Okay. So whenever I've had success for my business and my life, it's all been because of one thing, and that's, write this down. I create systems. Create systems that reflect your standards. Write that down. Create systems that reflect your standards. Okay? What does that mean? Okay? Because your systems, so once we talked about raising your standards, so whatever that looks like for you, create systems that are going to reflect that. I'll give you an example, okay? This is like, might not work for some of you, okay? But here at my house, I just moved to an apartment. And if you come to my house before 5:30, because that's normally when I pick up my son, you're gonna see dishes in the sink. You're not gonna see my house very clean and orderly. Why? Because I am committed to building my business. So when Sebastian's at school, I don't have any business doing laundry, folding clothes, mopping, sweeping, washing dishes. I have no business doing any of that. So the system that I've created, okay, is that like I wake up in the morning at a specific time, I get my stuff ready, I go work out, I come back. We have to be out of the house by 7:45 so Sebastian can be at school on time. I come back, I get ready, I clock in, meaning like I get ready, I do everything I need to do. I clock in at between 9 and 9:30, and I say between because sometimes I get calls in the morning and stuff like that. So before 9:30, I'm like getting ready, doing my things. By 9:30, I'm clocked in. Okay. And I do not do anything. If I have lunch, I'll have lunch and I leave the dishes in the sink. Okay. Why? Because I cannot waste time doing things that don't support my goals. The dishes they're not going anywhere. Okay. And that's just a distraction. I'm just using that as an example. And so my system is I don't do anything. I don't clean nothing until like about 5:30, 6 o'clock, sometimes even 9 p.m. Okay. Why? Because I'm not going to do business at that time. So that's when I clean up. That's what works for me. So you got to think about what are the systems you're going to put into place. I'm going to give you another one. Okay. So this is how I schedule my week. So because I just moved to LA, like I said, and I have friends and they're like, let's go out. And I'm like, okay. And I was like, okay. And I was like, what am I doing? So now this might support you. I have production days and management days. Okay? Production days and management days. So Monday is a management day for me. What that looks like is I do a lot of my admin stuff. If I'm going to go have lunch or anything like that with anybody, I do it those days on a Monday. That's the day that I will do whatever I need to do. Mondays and Fridays, with the exception of today, okay? Mondays and Fridays are my admin days. Those are the days that I will go do, those like my free days that I will, I can have space for that. Tuesdays are my production days. Those are my coaching days. So I'm like coaching all day long as my production days. What does that look like for you? Okay? Wednesdays, it's my content day. I'm constantly creating a lot of things to help me move my business forward. Okay? And then Thursdays are another coaching day / content day. So Tuesdays is like all day coaching. Wednesdays, I get coached because I have a coach. I get coached in the morning. And then after that, it's all content, meaning what? I'm creating things for my programs. I'm creating things for my businesses because I have like investments, I have real estate, I have multiple things going on. So that day, I'm like doing a lot of production stuff. That's going to be the day that I'm going to be recording my podcast, etc. Okay? Thursdays, I coach in the morning and then I'll do more content throughout the day. So if somebody wants to go to lunch with me, I'm sorry, especially this last quarter, the answer is going to be Mondays or Fridays. Okay? Because here's the other thing that will happen. As entrepreneurs, people will think that we have all the time in the world. They'll even tell you, hey, can you run errands for me? You're like, what? Because you're home, they think you're not working. My son the other day goes, Mom, when are you going to get a job? I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, when are you going to work? I'm like, I am working. He's like, all you do is talk. I'm a puppy. That's how I work. Okay. And so he doesn't get it because I used to have a brick and mortar place in Santa Maria called Go Healthy. And so he wants me to go back and work at Go Healthy. He's like, because he loves the waffles and he loves all this stuff. So anyway, so people, look, if a little kid thinks that, just imagine what your siblings, your friends, your family, they think you got all the time in the world. Okay. I'm going to invite you this month of October to learn to say not now. Take that on. Somebody wants to invite you out to lunch. You say, oh, okay, yes. What about Monday? Oh, I can't Monday. I can only do it on Tuesday. They tell you that and you'd be like, not now. And I'm going to tell you something. Okay. Oh, okay. Guys, well, screw it. I don't care if you judge me. So I'm going to tell you my philosophy behind this. Okay. So when I first moved to LA, I'm going to tell you something. Okay. When I first moved to LA, I reached out to a lot of people, not a lot of people. I reached out to some people that I really, really, really wanted to see. Like I wanted to genuinely see them. I hadn't seen them in like 3-4 years. I really wanted to connect with them and just see them. Okay. And for whatever reason, it never happened. Okay. And now I'm super like productive and I'm working and they see my pictures and they see the things that I'm doing and stuff like that. And now they want to come and have lunch with me. They're like, hey, Karla, we should get together. And I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be like, girl, what happened? Anyway, you guys get my deal, okay? But here's the thing that I feel, okay? Number one, if there's somebody that I really, 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 really need to connect with and somebody that I really, 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 really need to bond with, I promise you that relationship, if it's for me, it will still be there after January 1st. I'm very laser focused. That, by the way, that's my word for 2026. My word, my theme, not my word, my theme is laser focused. Yesterday, which by the way, you guys, I'm going to highly, highly, highly recommend that all of you join the fourth quarter fire. Okay. It started yesterday, but a lot of people watch it on replay. So you guys will still get the replay. The $33 is a replay and recordings, and the $111, you get the replays, the recordings, you get a private chat, and you get PDFs after every single call with the highlights of all the calls. So you have it. And here's what I'm going to tell you. Let me tell you why I would do it if I were you. Because if I have a business and I have a team and I'm going to invest, first of all, it's freaking tax deductible. By the way, I always think like that. And if I'm going to have equipment and material that I can then turn around and do with my team, okay, why not? A lot of the things that I'm sharing with you guys, I'm looking at my notes. It's because I've gone to very expensive programs. You are literally getting like 45, well, more than that, because I also did the Tony Robbins thing, whatever, hundreds of thousands of dollars of stuff that I've learned poured now into you, right? And that's how I see everything. Every time I hire a coach, I think, what value are they going to bring to my life? And is there an ROI? I'm always thinking, what's the return of my investment in this relationship? What is the return of my investment with the coach? What is the return of my investment with that networking event? What is the return? I'm always thinking like that. I think this way. Number one, is it tax deductible? Number two, can I get sued? And number three, what's my return of my investment? Like my brain always goes through that process, right? So you want to start to think about what are the systems that you're going to create for your month of October. I just gave you some ideas of mine, okay? How I run my day, how I run my week. I'm just going to say it. I am going to highly recommend that every single one of you start being stingy with your time, especially those of you on the call who are leaders. People want to pick your brain. Your brain is not pickable. Okay? That has to be earned. If somebody wants your time, I'm telling you, you guys, because here's the thing. Once you grow big in whatever business that you're doing, I promise you, people say, oh, it gets lonely at the top. No, it doesn't. It just, your environment changes. Okay. But people that are constantly wanting, I have a friend named Raquel Cortez, and she always says that the birds are they're like little pollitos, like looking for somebody to feed them. And you don't want to be that person. You want to be the eagle that's flying high. And let me tell you something, it's not lonely up there. It's just there's less birds up there. That's the only difference. Okay? So you want to start to think about what is it that how am I going to structure my month so that I make sure I win in this month of October? Okay? Last but not least, how you're going to, if you ever wonder, okay, Karla, that's fine. But one of the things that I get this a lot, how do you keep yourself motivated, or how do you continue to be consistent even when you don't feel like it? Okay, I get that question often from my peers, and here's what I will tell you. Okay, how this is just for me, how I help myself stay consistent is that I connect emotions to everything I do. I have a phrase that I say it in Spanish. I'm gonna see if I can translate it in English, okay? So like when I was building my business, I would always think I would tell people when I would be on stages, I would say, lo quieres hacer para esos momentos. You want to build what you're building for those moments. Now, this is what fires me up. But I want you to think about what are the emotions that you must attach to your goals. Because let me tell you something, motivation will flat out at some point. You'll burn out, you'll get tired. And if you don't have a vision that's going to pull you, you're not going to do it, at least not for the long haul. So you want to start to think about this, okay? What is going to put my heart on fire? And I'm using that very specific language because when you guys have felt it, I want you to think about a moment in your life where you have had success, where you have been like, dang, I did that. Okay. And don't be all humble, like, oh no, you all have it. You would not be on this call if you hadn't. Think of a moment that you're like, dang, I did that. If you reverse engineer what happened during that time, you're going to find your winning formula. And one of the things that was in that formula was that your heart was on fire. So ask yourself, what had me be on fire? I bet one of the components was that you were so laser focused on a vision that was compelling, that was pulling you. I can almost bet my phone on it that there was something in your life, in your business, whatever it was that you were doing. When I did my bikini competition, I got ready for that thing in 3 months. Okay, that's not healthy. But guess why I was so like determined to do it was because I had a vision of me up on stage. Like I invited an ex-boyfriend to come see because he made a comment. Like I had this whole idea in my mind that pulled me. Okay, I bet when you were when your heart was on fire and you were like accomplishing those goals, You had a very, very clear vision of what you were going after. And that vision excited you because we can have vision like, oh yeah, I want to make more money. That's not exciting. But when I think about traveling first class, staying at beautiful restaurants, I mean eating at beautiful restaurants, staying at beautiful hotels, and me paying for it, not being having to ask anybody anything, no man, no company, nobody. Like it can come out of my American Express. Like that excites me. Okay, that fuels me. So I want you to think about what is it? What are the emotions that you must attach to the things that you're doing? So I'm going to give you some examples for you to try on. Rather than saying, I'm going to go work out because I want to lose weight. That's not exciting. But if you're like, you know what? I'm going to drink water, Karla. Okay. I'm going to work out. I'm going to drink my water. I'm going to stick to my macros because I am building the woman that I know I am meant to be. See, that excites me. Okay. If you think about like why you're building your business, oh yeah, I'm building my business because I want to make more money. That's not exciting. But if you're like, I'm building my business because I want to make an impact in the world, I want to help so many women, really tap into the woman that God created them to be, like that excites me. Okay. I want to make more money. That doesn't excite me. I want to make more money so I can take Sebastian to first class. Like that, all the da-da-da, that excites me. So I'm going to challenge you, reframe the goals of as to why you want them. Reframe them, okay? So here's what I want you to write down, okay? So I'm going to give you some assignments because you guys, I should have been a teacher in my other life. I must have been a teacher in my other life, okay? I want you to think about, have 3 questions that you need to ask yourself as we complete the call. Number 1, what are you building? Ask yourself this month of October, maybe, and even take it on. I would say for those of you who want to, take it on for 2026, take it on for the quarter, take it on for the month. You choose, okay? If you're gonna join the fourth quarter fire, we're gonna really dive into this, okay? So first of all, what are you building? You gotta have clarity as to what is the big picture. I'm so clear on what I'm building for 2026. One of the things is that women's event that excites me, and there's other things that I'm like building, right? That I'm creating. Number 2, who are you becoming? That to me is even more important than what you're building. Who are you becoming? And number 3, why does it matter? Why does it matter? And after you ask yourself those 3 questions and you write down these answers, okay, I want you to decide what are the standards in your life that are going to be non-negotiable. What are the standards that are non-negotiable? Next, I'm going to advise you to really tap into that internal hunger. Like what's going to get you hungry again? I don't literally mean food. Like what's got hunger? Like you guys, I don't know if you can feel it in my voice. Like I'm so hungry right now. Okay. What is that hunger? Where is it going to come from? What's going to drive you to have that success? Also, write this down. Okay. So I'm giving you some key takeaways for you to make sure that you get off this call and really implement it. And you can, guys, if I were you, if you have a team, like write these down and like have I would have a meeting with my teams all the time. I would grab them. I'm like, okay, this is what we're doing. Because here's the thing. You are a product of the people that are around you. And if you have a team, employees, or an organization, your success relies on their success. So why wouldn't you want them to get better, right? So ask yourself the next thing. What is it going to take to create urgency? Okay. I was telling the guys yesterday on the call, on the fourth quarter fire call, that I gave them my 5 keys. I was working out and I got these downloads. What had me be so successful? The years that I had huge growth, what it was. And I was like, oh my gosh, I ran home and wrote down those 5 things. Okay. And one of those things was I had a sense of urgency. Okay. I'm not like, oh, tomorrow. No. You know why I'm doing this call? Let me tell you why I'm doing this call. I hired somebody, okay, And I've been like talking to her about, she's the one that's like, we did all these like videos and stuff, all this stuff. And I personally love working with people that I can pour into and that they pour back into me. Okay. So I called her because this is who I am. Okay. I want to be around people that are successful. Why? Because their elevation, their vibration impacts me. The better they do, the better I do. Like, I don't know why people don't share knowledge and expertise. Like, I don't get it. Don't be stingy, okay? Be that person that people say, man, that girl, when I die, you guys better come back on my eulogy 20,000 years from now, okay? And I'm sure people are going to say, you know what? Karla was the kind of woman that she would call just to give me an idea to improve my business or improve my life. Like, that's who I am. So I called her and I said, hey, I just met with this girl and she does this. Girl, you could totally do that. You should do this. She's like, oh my God, I love it. Right. And as we were talking, she then said to me, she said, you know what? I can totally see you doing something. And then she told me this whole idea. And then she told me about this idea. She's off Friday, first Friday, once a month. Then she told me whatever she said. You guys, I got off the call. This is who I know myself to be. I take action. I'm not like, oh, okay, that sounds good. I'll do it next week. No, this idea she gave me, I think was on Tuesday or Wednesday. I don't even remember. It was this week. It was that before. It was this week. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. That's my mom. I'm like, okay, sorry. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do it. And guess what? I immediately went onto the website. I created a landing page really quick. I did the Zoom little thingy majigler, right? And boom, there it is. Okay. Learn to be a person that knows him or herself as somebody that takes action, that creates urgency. Okay? Look, there's 14 of you on the call. I could have been like, oh, but there's not enough time. Who cares? The call's being recorded. I can send it out to the people that were not able to be on the call. Like, you got to think like that. There is no tomorrow. There's only today, in my eyes. Right? So I immediately, her name is Amber. Amber gave me the idea. That same day, I created the landing page. I did everything and I send it to her and I go, okay, done. She's like, what? I'm like, oh yeah, I'm doing it on Friday. She's like, oh my gosh, girl, I love you. I'm like, yeah, I want to find more people like me. Right? It's like, and there's Jessica's here on the line here, right? Jessica, Jerry, like those are like some women that I know that like I wish we lived closer to each other because we're like we don't overthink anything. Look, I messed up, right? The guy he's in Nigeria. He said 10 o'clock. Who cares? Who cares? So many of you, I'm going to finish with this. So many of you are not taking action because you're so concerned about everything being perfect. Nothing will ever be perfect. You know what's perfect? Is the action and the intention that you have behind what you do. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to invite you to think about this, and that is this. What is this month of October going to be for you? What are you committed to? What are you building? Who are you becoming? And why are you doing it? Okay, take some time and really, really think about that. And then have yourself be the woman and the man who learns to say, not now. This is not the time to be casual about your business. October, November, December will set you up for 2026. You sleep, you're going to not have momentum until like February, March of 2026. You're going to lose the first quarter of the year if you don't go all in the last quarter of this year. I'm telling you this because it's the truth. No, Karla, I can start January 1st. No, you can't. And if you do, you will not have momentum until March. It's like riding a bike, right? It's like the first ones are hard, but once you got it, you're like, right? I'm so committed. I told everybody yesterday at the fourth quarter fire, we are going to walk into the new year, not going Happy New Year. You're going to be like, bitch, I'm already living my new year. Why? Because the new year starts now. Okay. So I'm going to invite you, take the time to really think about this month. Take the time and tap into what makes your heart beat, what makes your heart feel on fire. Lock in emotions. Feel like that passion again for your life, for your business, for your future. Okay? Because let me tell you something. I'm 47. I'm just like, dang, I need to really think about, like, I'm not retiring, but I'm like, I need to really think about like my future because I'm not 20 anymore. Right? So things start to change and so should your focus. All right, guys. So with that said, I want to tell you thank you so much. So here's what I'm going to do. The call will be it is recorded. Okay. We will send it out to you via email, or I think also they send you guys a text message. You guys will get the link. Feel free to share it with people. Like, like to me, I'm not like I kind of feel like all of us need to come together because the better I do, the better you do. The better you do, the better I do. And the more we help and support one another, I just feel like this world would be better. There's so many things that are happening. I don't even know. Honestly, I don't watch the news because that stuff really like messes with my brain, but I do know that there's a lot of people hurting out there. There's a lot of people right now that could use like direction, right? And maybe this would be something for them. I don't know. If not, grab your notes, grab some friends, and you do your Zoom call. You get them together. You be the one to deliver it, right? Why not? Jim Rohn said, from my notebook to yours, and from your notebook to somebody else's. All right. So with that said, may God bless every single one of you. We will be doing this. Oh, here, let me put this on here. We will be doing this every month, the first Monday, the first Friday of every month at 11 o'clock. And I'm going to drop on here on the chat. If you guys want to join the fourth quarter fire, you still can. And when you join it, you'll get an email to give you into the Facebook group. Inside the Facebook group is everything you need. If you do VIP, because I think you should, you're also going to be in a Telegram channel. You'll have everything in there, PDF files, everything. You only missed one call, but you can, listen to it. Trust me, even the people that were live, they're like, I need to listen to that again. I'm like, I know, me too, right? Um, by the way, I do listen to my calls. I'm like, damn, that was good. And I invite you that you also listen to yours because that's the only way you're going to get better. Like, I'm like, okay, I need to stop talking so fast, but I can't help it. All right. With that said, you guys, there it is. It's carlaesandoval.com/quarter. Okay. So Karla, or you can go to my Instagram. It's all in the links in the bio. And may you guys have an amazing, let's kick butt this month of October. Let's kick butt the last quarter of the year so that we can have a fabulous, ridiculous 2026. All right. God bless and bye bye.